Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for attending Be More Active Together. We are super excited to have you. My name is Stephanie EVA, and I will be your anchor for today. Today is Be More Active Together All in One Inclusion webinar. And today is the National Disability Awareness. And our mission today is together we are more, and we are empowering inclusion through community and partnership. So just to give you a background of who we are, what we decided to do today, what today represents for us, the conversations that we're going to have today, the theme in which we're celebrating is inclusive leadership, community engagement, and financial empowerment for persons of all abilities. BeMore Developmental Support Services is dedicated to empowering individuals with developmental disabilities, tailored through support and services. We are presently based in Baltimore, Maryland, and we provide comprehensive, compassionate, and person-centered services to improve quality of life, independence, enhance community engagement for individuals and families. Together, we believe in empowering potential, enriching lives, and the O and the Be More represents our opportunity. At Be More Developmental Support Services, we believe that opportunity is the foundation of everything that we do. The letter O represents more than just a name. It symbolizes our commitment to creating meaningful opportunities and for us to engage in communities for individuals and families. So just to give you a background of what we do at BeMore Developmental Services, we believe that opportunity is the foundation of empowerment. We believe that the O in our BeMore represents more than just a name. We are committed to disabilities to live, grow, and thrive. We also believe that we're here to enrich lives and to make that all disabilities, whether it's small, whether it's on any spectrum, we want to create opportunity where potential meets purpose. Our training emphasizes inclusion, dignity, health, safety, and self-determination, and is structured to support onboarding professional development. At BeMore, we believe that inclusion is not just about presence, it's about participation, purpose, and partnership. Today's conversation highlights leaders from different industries. We have a YMCA executive director, we have a financial professional, we have a membership director, and most of all, we have us that can share minds and also bring light to this webinar. Today's conversation highlights leaders who are transforming how we see ability, equity, and access in our communities. Together with partners like YMCA, World Financial Group, and the Heartland Institute, we're breaking barriers and building bridges so everyone at Be More Active Together can have an opportunity. So I'm super excited to be here today. I'm super excited to share what we're going to do today, but this is just a background of what we do here at Be More Active. And this is an introduction of welcome. Thank you for coming to speak to us. Thank you for coming to be informed. Thank you for being here. Thank you for saying yes, because today we're going to be shedding light and we're going to be having opportunities where everyone will be able to be informed, enlightened, and also create opportunities for individuals that may not have the opportunities. Just to give you a background of some of our speakers before we actually get started, we have Jovan L. Custis. He is the Executive Director of the Okroa Y in Taunton, and he is a visionary leader and dynamic communicator with a passion for inclusive community building. As the Executive Director in Taunton, the Y in Central Maryland Flagships Family Center has led transformational initiatives focused on equity, access, and partnership. With a track record of successful leadership, transitions, and strategic innovation, he continued meaningful change across the YMCA movement and the broader community at large. We're super excited to have the Executive Director of YMCA, and we also have the Membership Director in our midst, Mr. Zavon Johnson. And Mr. Zavon Johnson, he is someone that is the membership director, as I said, in Taunton, Maryland. And he leads membership operations, recruitment, engagement for over 20,000 members. He has a background in finance and Brazilian Jiu heavyweight champion. We got a heavyweight amongst our midst. And he applies the same focus and discipline from his athletic career to his professional role, advancing community growth, inclusion, and wellness through purposeful leadership. And last but certainly not least, we have Miss Mary, who is Miss Mary Agbobo, who is a financial professional with World Financial Group and an educational consultant with the Heartland Institute of Education. She brings over 10 years of experience with supporting individuals with developmental disabilities. She is passionate about empowering people, financial literacy, education, inclusion, and helping communities thrive through opportunity, awareness, and growth. So today we have a well-diverse team who is going to bring forth knowledge. So without further ado, I have Mr. Zavon and I have Mr. Jovan in our midst. I'm super excited. Just to get these individuals was a lot. So I'm so excited to have them today. I'll be answering questions and they'll be answering. So, Mr. Jovan, can you please share with us who you are, your background? Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for agreeing to come, and thank you for making it possible.
Thank you, Steph, for having us, and just elated and delighted to be in this content today because I believe in transformational change. And transformational change can only happen when there is awareness, when there's advocacy, and when we are unified for a common purpose. And so, again, I'm Jovan Custis. I'm the program director of what I call the Outstanding Orcal Y here in Towson, Maryland. We service, as of September, nearly 21,000 members in the surrounding communities of the Towson area. We service them in fitness, swim, Stay and Play, which is our youth development program here. We service individuals across every age bracket and ability, right? And we'll get into that further in the conversation. Celebrating my 8th year here, and my primary career path was in behavioral therapy. I was a behavioral therapist at Kennedy Krieger Institute for about 4 years. And so those individuals with diverse abilities, physically or mentally, are near and dear to my heart. And because I see them, not for their diverse ability, but I see them for who they are and how we can continue to engage them authentically and intentionally, because their ability is not a limiting factor. It gives them a leg up. And I want people to continue to see individuals with differing abilities as superheroes and superstars, because that's who they are.
Thank you so much. I hear so much passion, and thank you for telling me your background and your strong support. Congratulations on your 8th year. That's a big win to stay in a program and to provide change into your community. So you've been described as a visionary leader who has shaped, like you said, you believe in tangible change. And I think what was also very interesting is also talking about your background in behavioral therapy. And as somebody who is in a rising physician presently in my 4th year of medical school, we understand that behaviors is what drives outcomes. And we understand that these things can affect the outcomes of individuals, right? So my question to you is, can you share how did you get involved in the Y and what has made your journey so tangible at the YMCA?
Absolutely. I literally stumbled across the Y. I was working for the state of Maryland after I left Kennedy Krieger, and I was working a 9-to-5 job and weekends, and made a fairly great amount of money. And at that time, I just felt that there was a need for me to do more. That for my NIF gate give balance to be initiated in a better way. And right as I found that nudge, I got a call to the office. The contract was ending and I would be without a job in the next 30 days. And I was like, oh man, the nudge was right. And so I crossed the Y. And at that point, I started in our youth development career path there. I oversaw out of school time programs. I led initiatives for community school strategies in Northeast Baltimore, where I was leading a school through a pandemic, a new building being erected, and a new principal. And so all of my career, particularly at the Y, has been laid into strategy. And I think, Steph, to answer your question, why be strategic if we are not intentional about breaking down silos? The world today is so polarized. Our climate today is polarized that people are sometimes unwilling to meet in the middle. And I think in order for us to really drive strategy, to really drive change, there has to be someone that is advocating, that is articulating, and then showing a clear path on what the future could look like.
Next question is, how do we intentionally create a space in which disability inclusion is not just a YMCA thing, it's actually a national thing, it's actually a community thing? Because many times, one of the things when I was interviewing a potential client as well, is that one of the things that many companies, many individuals shy away from giving disabilities an opportunity or a chance to actually have an opportunity because of their disabilities. So how do you think some ways, practical ways in which we can implement them into society?
I think it has to start with the mental model of the employer. It has to start with how he or she or the organization nationally conceptualize individuals. I think when we label people, labels can be very restrictive. Labels can be very limiting. And I think that the employer has to have a certain level of emotional intelligence, social self-awareness, right? Again, not just to be checking a box, but for it to organically take place. And not seeing people as those people over there. People are people, right? Right. And if you're not good at peopling, you shouldn't be in people businesses. Did I say that? Yeah. If you're not good at peopling, you should not be in people business, right? And so I think it takes, again, seniors from the executive level on up to really see individuals as individuals and challenge their mental models, right? What is my bias as it relates to individuals in diverse community? Do I have an intrinsic bias? Have I heard things from other people that were not emotionally intelligent that has triggered or hindered my conceptualization? And so I think mental models and Fortune 500 companies and nonprofits have to be challenged in order for there to be systemic change and national change. And I think conversations like this it starts right here. It starts with the eye-opening testimonies. It starts with one business or one entity showing how it's done, and that person having the guts, if you will, the boldness, the courageous authenticity to say, "Hey, we're not doing it. Come, let me learn." Humility has to be how we lead. We all don't know it all. We don't all have the answers. So me pairing up with Be More Active and even Miss Mary and whoever else is on this call, not a reflection of my incompetency. It's a reflection of my emotional intelligence to say, hey, Miss Mary, Steph, everybody on this call has something to offer to what I do in community. And that's where the synergy starts.
And I'm going to transition into your role. And I know you oversee initiatives that bridge faith, family, and community. What have you learned about the importance of creating accessible spaces? So I know you talked about paint and sips. You talked about people feeling like family, not just being a staff, but created like an associate. And what did you learn about the importance of creating these accessible space, not just physically, not just emotionally, not just socially, but for individuals with developmental disabilities? What does it mean for them? Like, how do they come back and report? And like, how do you see the change in them?
I think for me, it took getting it wrong one time for me to be committed to getting it right every other time after that. One example is before I led the Child Survive for the past 2 years, I was at one of our more family centers, and we had someone that was disabled temporarily by a car accident, and we have a pool chair that lifts them in and out of the pool. But the team at that time did not have the battery charged, and the embarrassment this person had, right, of trying to get into the pool or get out of the pool, and they're there for minutes without any kind of ability to do for themselves. And because we weren't on our due diligence at that time to make sure that that level of accessibility was secured, it took that one time for us to get it wrong, for me to say, I never want want to get it in, right? And so I think it takes a leader being on the